Okay, let's finish the rest of the questions. So we have done 10 questions. So now it's 11A. So question 11, we want to find the sum of this geometric sequence. How do we know it's a geometric? And you see from -3 to -6, let's multiply by 2. From -6 to -12, let's also multiply by 2. So they have a common ratio of 2. So it's a geometric sequence and it's finite sequence. We just want to add up those terms. So ratio is 2. Now let's recall the formula. Sum for nth term, right, equals to a fraction. Let me see if I can get a fraction. Yeah, let me use copy and paste this. It's n, how many terms divided by 2? So we're going to pair them up. Oh no, hold on. A1, first term, multiply by, so this is the factor. So I'm going to write this way is easier. The denominator is 1 minus the ratio. The ratio is 2, right? 1 minus 2. And the numerator is the first term multiplied by 1 minus the ratio to the nth power. So what are we missing here? We're missing, we know A1. A1 is -3. So let's write down here. So A1 equals to -3. So we're missing n. So we need to figure out the n. We need to figure out how many terms we're summing up. So what is the formula? So easy way to remember this formula, just okay. So this formula actually is another formulas, another presentation of the formula, which is this, which is A1 times 1 plus 2 raised by 1 plus 2 raised by 2 up to plus 2 raised by n. What is this? This is exactly 1 minus 2 raised by n divided by 1 minus 2. Right? Because why, you see the first term is A1 times 1. The second term is A1 times 2. The third term, -12, is A1 -3 times 2 squared, so on and so forth. That's why we can add up this way, but then we can rewrite like this. Okay, so either formula we can remember. Anyway, so we need to figure out n. How do we figure out n? We have this, so we know the nth term, an, equals to -3, the first term, multiplied by 2 raised by n, right? So for -96, which is our last term, equals to -96, we need to figure out, which term it is for -96. So basically, we want to solve for this equation, solve for n. Okay. So first, let's divide it by -3 on both sides. If we divide both sides by -3, 2 raised by n equals to -96 divided by -3. That's a positive 32. And 32 is 2 raised by 5. Right? 2 raised by 5. Okay, -96 divided by -3, we get a positive 32. So 2 raised by n equals to 32. 32 is 2 raised by 5. So that tells us n equals to 5. Right? Oh, you know what? I need to adjust a little bit. Because the first term is -3. Right? So multiply by, I need to multiply by 2 raised by n minus 1. Because the first term n minus 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 raised by 0 is 1. If I start n, if I only have 2 raised by n, that's 2 raised by 1, my first term would be -6. So I need to adjust to n minus 1. So that means 2 raised by n minus 1 equals 32. So 2 raised by n minus 1, what is it? It's a 2 raised by n divided by 2, right? Equals 32. And then 32 equals 2 raised by 5. So what is n? N is, so let's just write it one more time, one more step. So 2 raised by n equals to 32 times 2, which is 64, which is 2 raised by 6. So n equals to 6. Okay, I have found our n. Now we just plug into this formula. Plug into this formula. Well, let's not use the second one. If you like the second one, because the second one is more making sense, but let's use the first one. So A1 is -3. And now it's a 6. So 1 minus 2, what is it? The one more step. So 1 minus 2 is just -1. The numerator will have -3, denominator will have -1. So that just becomes partial 3 times 1 minus 2. What's 2 raised by 6? 64. So 1 minus 2 raised by 64, so 3 times -63, which is -189. So that's the answer for 11. So we want to find the sum of those 6 terms. 6 terms. So the next term of -12 is -24. Then the next one after the -24, we multiply by 2, which is a -48. -48 times 2, we get -96. All right. If in the exam, if you just add up like that, you won't get much credit. All right, you probably only get 1 point. Because this question is testing you the knowledge about geometric sequence and find out its ratio and use this formula for the sum of n terms. Okay, let's see 12. 12, we have this. The index goes from 21 to 50. We have 7n. So what we need to do? We need to find out the 21st term. So let me copy and paste. So we need to find out A21. Okay. We need to figure out this term. And also we need to figure out A50. Let's leave some space. A50. Because we have a geometric, well, no, we have a arithmetic sequence for this. And it has a formula. The formula is, let's write down the formula first. It's we need to figure out how many terms, then divide by 2, because we're going to pair them up. Then we add 21st term plus the 50th term. Right. So this is the formula for arithmetic sequence. Right? Because we're starting with the 21st term. We'll end with the 50th term. And we pair them up. So basically add the 21st term and 50th term, 22th term with 49th term, 23rd term to 47th term. So pair them up because the sum is the same. In arithmetic sequence, if you pair them up, like from outside in, the pair has the same sum. We just need to figure out how many pairs. That's why we do n divided by 2. So how do we figure out how many terms we have? So n equals to, that's how many of them, right? Okay, you know what? Maybe not use this n. This how many, okay. How many terms? By counting principle, we use the last number, 50, subtract first number, 21, then we add one back. Counting principle, okay. So add one back. So 50, so negative 21 plus 1, that's negative 20. 50 minus 20, we get 30. And 30 divided by 2, so this n it should be 30. So we have 15 pairs. So how do we figure out A21? Well, A21 is 7 times 21, right? Which is 147. And A50, that's 7 times 50, which is 350. All right, just plug in. A21 is 147, sorry. A50 is 350. Right. And 30 divided by 2, this is 15. And maybe we add one more step. So we just have 15 times, what do we have? We have 487, right? 487. 147 plus 350. 7 plus 0 unit digits. 10 digits, 4 plus 50, 40 plus 50, or 90. 40 plus 50, 90. Then 100 plus 300, 400. So now let's multiply those two numbers. $15 multiply 497, which you could do is you could do 500 times 15, right? Then minus 3 times 15. So in any case, you get 167,455. Okay, so let's review this one. This one a little bit tricky, right? So first we use the formula. The formula is we figure out how many terms in total. We pair them up, so we divide by 2. And then we figure out the first term, figure out the last term, we add them up. Because we're from outside, so imagine you have a sequence of numbers. Because they're arithmetic, they have a common difference. So if we pair them up from outside in, the sum of the pair is the same. So we use that. So how many pairs? We use how many terms divided by 2, that's how many pairs. And in this case, yeah, we get this number. Let's see 13. We're going to graphs of ellipse. Remember the standard form is x minus h squared. Let me copy and paste it right down the standard form. The standard form is x minus h square y minus k square, then a divided by a square, and the y divided by b square. I'll have this standard form. So in this standard form, h comma k is the center of the ellipse. Okay. And A is the major axis. The B measures the minor axis, right? So in our case, so what's A, what's B? Let's figure out. What's H comma K? What's our center? Let's figure out the center first. So in our case, our center is -1 and 1, right? So center -1 comma 1. And A equals to square root of 9, which is a 3. And B equals to square root of 1, which is 1. So with this information, we can graph. Let me get my pencil. Let's use blue color. So we can graph. So -1 and 1. So x value is -1, y value is 1. So my center is here. Then on x-axis, a equals 3. So I count from the center, I count 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. I should have this point. To the right, I count 3, 1, 2, 3. I should, this point is on the ellipse. Then b equals 1. That means to the top, I have 1. To the bottom, I have 1. Then I draw oval shape, right? Just forgive me, I'm horrible at drawing. I draw oval shape. So imagine this is an oval shape. Oops, oops, oops. Horrible at drawing with this, with my fingers and okay, any case. So that's it. That's the graph of this ellipse with the given information. Now let's see 14. 14 wants us to write an equation in standard form for the ellipse. So we do the same thing. We want to figure out the center. So let's see the center. The center is this point, right? What's the value of the center? X value is -2. Y value is 1. So a center is -2 and 1. And to the right and to the left is a 3. And to the top and to the bottom is 4. Okay. So we write I'm gonna go out of this so I can copy paste this. Copy paste use this formula. So it's that's right here. Right. Our center is -2 and 1. So I change this to be x minus -2. That becomes x plus 2. And y minus 1. Then my a, remember I counted on x-axis, that's a 3. So I have 3 squared, which is 9. Oh, I have this one on the bottom already. Then b, just 1, right? I could have read one here, or I could just ignore it. I could ignore this one also. And that's it. So that's the equation of this. Oh, no, why I read 1? That's 4, right? You see that's the center. If I count it to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I count it to the bottom, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 squared, which is 16. So my center is -2 and 1. On x-axis, a is 3. On y-axis, it's 4. So that's it. That's the equation for this graph of the ellipse. Oh, I think that's the last one. Okay, we have one more question. We have one more to do. So we want to write this equation of ellipse in standard form, which is like this. Okay. Let's keep this in our head, which is x minus h square y minus k square, and the x we call a square, or could be called b square sometimes, depending on the major or minor. But right. So what do we do? First, we want to group the x terms together. So let me copy and paste. Copy this, paste it down here. So I want to write the x terms together. Oops, 4. And I want to write the y term together, because I need completing squares first. So you see these two have x in it, right? So I'm going to factor out 36. So 144 divided by 36, that's 4, right? Because 4 times 6, that's 24. Then 40 times 3, that's 120, plus 20, that's 144. Yes, that's 4. So I have 36 times parentheses inside x squared plus 4x. Same thing I'm going to do for the y term. So I'm going to factor out 25. 100 divided by 25, I also get 4. Okay. I want to complete in squares. So now I'm thinking, what is 4 divided by 2? That's 2. What is 2 squared? That's 4. So I'm going to add 4 here. If I add 4 here, I have to subtract. I have to subtract 4 times 36, because this 4 has a common factor, 36 outside, which is 144. So I need to subtract 144, right? 4 times 36. Let me write 4 times 36. So you know where it comes from. Because I added 4 inside the parentheses, right? 4 times 36, I added 144 here. So I have to subtract because I can only add 0. Same thing, I'm going to add 4 here. Adding 4 here is the same as adding 4 times 25. So I need a minus 4 times 25. Right, as if I didn't do anything. So I add 4 times 36, I subtract 4 times 36. I added 4 times 25, I subtract 4 times 25. So I didn't change anything. Basically, I only add 2 zeros. I always like to see 0 and 1 are most important 2 numbers in mathematics because they are transformers. 0 is a number, subtract itself. 1 is a number, divides itself. We always use those 2. Okay, so now do you see this square? So now let me, oops. Let me copy and paste this. So this 2, 1, ignore the negative 2, 1 there. So now this one I can write as x plus 2 squared, a perfect square. And similarly, I can write this one as a y minus 2 squared. Y minus 2 squared. Right. Now I add those 3 numbers. I have this. The minus 144, I'm going to write it here. Minus 144. Then negative 4 times 25, so it's minus 100. I add those, because all those 3 numbers are negative, right? So what do? I add them together, I move to the right-hand side. When I move to the right-hand side, equal positive. So I add those 3. What do I get? 756, right? Plus 100, 756. Then add 144, wow, 900. Beautiful numbers. Because 900. Okay, now what do? I want to divide 900. Because you see here, I have 1. So I want to divide everybody by 900. So when I do that, I need this. Let me copy paste this and use this form. When I do that, so I divide by 900. But in the numerator, I have 36 multiplied by x plus 2 squared. And here, I also divided by 900. The numerator, I have 25 times y minus 2 squared. Oh, I'm missing square here. Minus 2 squared equals 1, because 900 divided by 900 is that's 1, right? Okay, now what do? I can simplify 36 and 900. So if it's not clear, first I divide by 9. So 900 divided by 9, I get 100. 36 divided by 9, I get 4. Then 4 and 100. 4 goes into 125 times, right? Which is 5 squared. Well, we can write as 25. Same thing, 900 is 9 times 100, right? I can write as 9 times 100. Or 25 goes to 104 times. So 4 times 9, that's 36. All right. So this is it. So this is the equation we're looking for. All right. So we rewrite this equation into standard form of an ellipse. And this tells us the center is -2 and comma 2, and A is 5, B is 6. So we can graph it. So how did we do this? By completing squares. Basically, we add 2 zeros to the equation. This is kind of a manipulation in mathematics we use all the time. All right, good luck for exam 4.